Hey everyone, and welcome to Frank's Zoo, a card game where you try to empty your hand by playing higher cards. The twist, there are no numbers on the cards, but you follow a certain animal hierarchy. It's quick, it's wild, and it's the only game where you can say, "Don't worry, my mosquito has your back." Welcome to the jungle of cards. Let's see who makes it out on top. Frank's Zoo is a game for 4 to 7 players, and we'll start by explaining the rules for these player counts, but there's also a variant for 2 and 3 players as well. You can play on single mode, where you work for yourself, what we call the Wild Rumble mode, but you can also play in changing teams, the Team Rumble. In both modes, the first round is played wild, so we'll start by explaining that. So let's start with the Wild Rumble and how you set up for it. First, you discard all point cards that show a number greater than your player count back to the box. For now, set aside the overview cards, team cards, and all point cards without little stars. Then you organize the remaining point cards with little stars into a deck in ascending order with the lowest card, which is the 2 at the bottom, and then you place them as a stack on the table. The youngest player becomes the first dealer and shuffles all 60 animal cards and deals them evenly to all players. Note that for 7 players, the last 3 players receive 1 card less. Now, let's have a look at the animal cards. Each card portrays an animal, and at the top part, it shows which animal can outrank it. In the game, you start with the dealer, and then each player plays clockwise in turn order until only 1 player has animal cards left in hand. On your turn, you perform one of the following: lead, collect and lead, pursue, or pass. So you can lead if there are no animal cards in the center area of the table, or else called the field. You play 1 animal card or multiple cards of the same species to the field. If there are already cards in the field, you may choose to pursue them, and you can do that in 2 different ways. The first way is to outnumber them. So you play the same species as the last played set, but with exactly 1 more card. The other way is to outrank. You play exactly the same number of cards as the last set played in the field, but of an outranking species. So, in the same example, instead of pursuing by outnumbering the seals, you can play an equal number, in this case 2, of the outranking animals and scare the seals away. You will notice that you cannot outrank a whale. There's nothing that can scare her away. If you cannot pursue, or if you don't want to, you can pass and you can still play on your next turn. If animals you played are still on top of the field at the start of your turn, meaning that all others passed, you collect all cards in the field, you place them face down in front of you, and then you may lead. So that's the collect and lead. Now let's see some special abilities. In this example, I like to pursue, but I cannot outrank them. I don't have any elephants or whales, and currently I don't have 3 polar bears to outnumber them. I only have 2. But I do have 1 chameleon in my hand. Now, what I can do instead is play the 2 polar bears with 1 chameleon, which mimics whatever animal it's played with. So I have a set of 3 polar bears. Note that the chameleon, however useful and cheeky, it has the limitation that it can never be played on its own. Even as your last card, you always have to play it together with some other animal or animals it can mimic. One other animal that has a special condition is the mosquito. You may lead mosquitoes as their own set, but you cannot outrank with them as they don't outrank any animal. However, they have a special pact with the elephants. You can play exactly 1 mosquito with 1 or more elephants, and then that mosquito is treated as another elephant. So these are 2 mosquitoes, these are 2 elephants, and these are 3 elephants. Now let's see how the round ends and how you score points. When you play your last card, you're done and you're out of the round. You take the top card from the points deck and you place it in front of you. You can still collect cards from the field this round if all others pass, and the player to your left is now on lead. As soon as only 1 player has cards left in hand, the round ends immediately. That player does not get a point card. Then the scoring is simple. Each point card a player received is worth that many points. So in this 5-player game, the first player who shed all their cards gets 5 points, the second 4, the third 3, the fourth 2, and the last one gets no points. You may play more rounds in the same way, with the player who received no point card becoming the new dealer. You may choose to tally up points each round to see who earns the most points over 3 to 5 rounds, or you may decide to play the Team Rumble. Now, the Team Rumble allows you to play in rotating teams and step up your skills and team tactics. In Team Rumble, players collaborate to shed cards and focus on collecting hedgehogs and lions. You play 1 round of Wild Rumble as your first round, and then the results determine the new team members, as we'll see in a bit. For the setup of Team Rumble, you rebuild the points deck. You take the cards for your player count without little stars you left out, and you stack each card without little stars under each matching card with little stars, again in ascending order. You place the overview card for your player count on the table, along with all the team cards showing on it. Then you look at the overview card and find your rank based on the results of the last round, and you place the indicated team card in front of you. So, for example, we are 5 players. The one who earned the most points in the Wild Rumble, they will take the red elephant card, and they will have a senior role in the team. The same with the second best, who will be in the yellow team and will take the yellow elephant. The 4th and 5th in the rank will be the respective junior teammates, and the mosquito player will play on their own. The arrows on the card also show you who the new dealer is, and that player will lead. Now for the actual gameplay of Team Rumble, you play in the same way as the Wild Rumble with the following additions. At the start of the game, you do a card swap. After the cards are dealt, each junior gives 2 cards of their choice face down to their senior. The senior adds them to their hand and returns 2 cards of their choice to their junior. For 5 or 7 players, the gray single player places up to 2 cards face down, starting this way their animal deck. Another addition is asking for help. As a junior player, on your turn, if you're trying to pursue but you don't have all the cards needed, you may ask your senior teammate for help. So let's say the last played set is 2 elephants. It's your turn, you don't have much to play to pursue, but you have this chameleon here, so you can reveal it to everybody, and in this way you're asking your senior partner for help. They may play 2 elephants from their hand and add them to your set so you can outnumber, or they may add 1 mouse to outrank, and now all these cards count as played by the junior. If the senior cannot help or doesn't want to help, then the junior takes their card back and is forced to pass the turn. Now, when you have shed all your cards and you go out, you take the top point card with the little stars and you give the matching card beneath it to your partner. As the single player, if you go out, you keep both matching point cards. However, you flip the card without little stars over, it always counts as 4 points regardless of the number on the other side. And again, when only 1 player remains with cards in hand, they do not take a point card nor they give 1 to their partner, and the round ends and it's time for scoring. Each player adds the values of all point cards personally received. If the single player doesn't have any point cards at all, they simply receive 4 points instead. Then each player looks at their animal stacks for lions. Each player who has at least 2 lions earns 1 point per lion in their stack. Now you look for hedgehogs. If you have none, you lose 1 point. Last, the last player with cards in hand loses 1 point per lion remaining in their hand. And the player with the most points wins. Ties go to the tied player with the higher point card showing little stars. Now you may end the game here or use the results to find your ranks and play a new round of Frank Zoo. You can also play the game with 2 or 3 players if you'd like to by checking out the variant in HeidelBAER's website, and there you can find also another mode you want to try, the Championship Rumble. And that's it for Frank Zoo. I hope you enjoy the game and may the strongest or the sneakiest animal win.